there's a lot of people out there that whenever questions are put out by people like me and others, right away it's oh, well, that's just conspiracy theory. Well, here's one for you. If it's just conspiracy theory, then how about you explain the control? Explain the control. When you look at just about any theory out there that different asshats want to label as conspiracy theory, most of them have to do with a control point. When you dig to the root, take for example the 9/11 stuff. It was a suggestion of a control to where a government or the radical Talmudists behind the scenes had the control to be able to orchestrate such an event or to be able to distort what actually happened. Okay? Same thing with Boston. It was, again, a suggestion that there was a level of control that would allow the orchestration. Here's the thing. There are other things outside of that that suggest the control. And it's not conspiracy because it's fact. If you look at the 2008 banking situation, the numerous bubbles, the Enron debacles, and then you look at the foreclosures, the fraudulent ones, you look at the LIBOR, you look at some other stuff related to banking and the way that it's completely tanked our economy. And then you look at the fact that throughout all this time, not a single person, not a single CEO, because of their actions that created this and their decisions that created this, has been brought to justice. You're going to tell me that's not some control somewhere that goes against what we were taught this country was about, that the control was in the hands of the people? Do you really think with the way that they've raped and pillaged Americans, millions of Americans from coast to coast, not only in their home foreclosures and their looting of pensions and other things, do you really think that there are not a crapload of people throughout this entire nation that would like to see some justice? Some of you might argue, such and such bank, they agreed to pay restitution. Well, how the hell is that justice, people? That's the damn system that created the problem, setting up their own penance. It's not a court of law. It's not the people. It's the damn companies that were responsible deciding what their payment should be for their transgressions. That's not justice, people. Not to mention the fact that the bullshit involved with that, in legal terms, it's no admission of guilt. But they were guilty. They did this shit, it was wrong. And they got away with it. How? If there is not a larger control than we the people, okay, then how the hell did that happen? So really, you asshats out there with the whole conspiracy theory, you can jam that in your ass. Because you're nursing your cognitive dissonance and you're not using critical thinking and logic in order to come to your conclusions. You are eating up the shit that lamestream media feeds you and you're spitting it back out like brain dead parrots. Again, something you need to stop for those that are doing it. And it doesn't stop there. This bullshit lately with the Monsanto rider. How the hell did that happen? The Monsanto Protection Act. How the hell did that happen if that control that they're suggesting concerning events like 9/11 in Boston was not credible? If it was only conspiracy theory. There's no damn theory about it. The control exists. Just as in the realities of Israel never make it to lamestream media, supposed news. The shit you see on TV anymore, people, it's not news. It is propaganda, spin, bullshit. It is the intentional distortion and omission of different facts and different realities to lead you by your nose and your emotions to a desired conclusion. News is presenting a non-biased, both sides of a situation and allowing the people to make an informed decision. That is news. News was originally intended to inform the public so that way an informed public could keep control of their government. That does not happen anymore. And lamestream news and their bullshit, along with the control that's there, that is fact, it is not conspiracy, with the control that is there, is constantly pumping out polls and slanted bullshit, trying to convince you that this agenda or that agenda is the way it should be. The same has been prevalent in the bullshit lately with the whole gun control debate. All of a sudden, lamestream media is focusing on the mass shootings and the violence. And they totally ignored all the situations that were happening at the same time where guns ended up saving people's lives. That is slanted, biased reporting. Why? Because the control that is there, the radical Talmudists, have an agenda, and that is trying to disarm the American public. So they are not going to put out the stories where, because of different responsible gun owners being armed, they ended up actually saving lives. It's not something that they put out there at all. And the bulk and majority of people seem to go along with the whole idea that, oh, well, focus is on this, well, it must be more of a problem now than it was before. No, because if you look into the FBI reports and if you look into all the other shit that they pull like this, you will come to find out that, no, the reports show exactly the opposite. The only thing that makes it appear that it is more of a problem is because that's what they are drawing your focus to. Why? Because they have an agenda. That isn't conspiracy. Again, that's fact. Then another thing that goes along with that. Look at the Boston Marathon thing. Look at all the constant flip-flopping. They vilified just about every group that would stand up against tyranny, that would stand against, government's overarching control. Then all of a sudden, the script got flipped to being about, Chechen terrorists. Then it gets flipped back to, oh, well, they were self-radicalized. Come on. There is a control factor that exists that allows these things to be orchestrated, and it allows the flip-flopping and the other proof. All the damn lamestream media places were going with the same script. And that's because there's basically 6 corporations that own everything that puts anything out that we read, listen to, or see on TV. 6. So that's why the scripts are the same throughout all damn 6 of them and every company that they own. Not a single person, not a single one of them brought up the question about, the constitutional rights being violated in Boston as a result of the undeclared military lockdown. Not a single one. That's fact. That isn't conspiracy. So for all you asshats out there that are nursing your cognitive dissonance, trying to justify this shit, because you can't fathom and you can't use your head and common sense looking at some of this stuff to see that there is a control there that is not we the people, you need to wake the hell up. You need to break your conditioning. You need to stop being self-centered asshats. Again, quite a few videos that I've done lately. Go take a look at them. There is more than enough to prove that there is a control that is there, that is not government, at the top, and it is not we the people. It is something else. And it's time people started recognizing this and they started pushing back. Because the longer we wait and the deeper they are entrenched and the deeper they become entrenched, the harder it is going to be to remove their asses. The harder it's going to be to get the control firmly back in the hands of the people where it belongs. When there are facts to support it, it's no longer conspiracy. Stop being a brain-dead parrot. And if you are too lazy to be able to go out there and do some research, and if you're too damn arrogant because you think that you're dumbass watching TV, you're informed, then you are a part of the problem and why we have a country that we have today. You want to see it change? You're going to have to get a little uncomfortable. You're going to have to grow a backbone. And you're going to have to be ready and prepared to talk about the shit that people are going to try to smear you. Because that's the only way it's going to change. When people cut loose from their conditioning, they stop being self-centered asshats, they stop nursing their cognitive dissonance, and they realize what's at stake. Because if you think for 1 minute by keeping your head down and your head in the sand that this shit isn't going to get real for you eventually or your children, you better think again, because it is. This nation, for us older people who have been around the block for a while, like me, 40 plus years of life and experience, I'm telling you, what you see right now going on with this shit in Boston and some of this other stuff, it didn't happen like this when I was a kid growing up. This is not the America that I was told it was supposed to be. And most people snoozing at the wheel because they're too damn busy with their Dancing with the Stars and their football and their frickin' baseball and all that other distraction shit at this point in time. You don't have a clue. And as long as you continue to be distracted and as long as you continue to be self-centered, you're never going to get one. And because you don't get one, and you don't grow some balls, you don't find your backbone, and you don't start standing with the rest of us, this country is going to further slip into the shitter. And if you think situations are bad now, with the way we were raped and pillaged by the banking system, and then the martial law that just came in Boston, you ain't seen shit yet. The ones that are at the control points of this really don't give a fuck about you or me. All they care about is their continued profit and their continued control. And because different ones are starting to wake up, they're trying to lock that control down more and more because they know their day is coming. And it has been a steady nudge and procession towards this police state that we now have with freaking cameras all over the damn place. And like I said, growing up, that was never a factor. It didn't exist. And you know what? Things were a hell of a lot more peaceful at that point in time than they are now. The reality is, those cameras and all that drones and shit isn't making anybody any safer. And it's never going to. But what they're pushing for is going to end up being the equivalency of us in an open-air prison to where they watch every damn move we make. And they start running algorithms trying to figure out which of us might have a thought crime. And then arbitrarily starting to pick people up in order to benefit and deepen the pockets and the profits for the prison industrial complex. That's where this is heading. And for those of you that don't know, and you want to question that, and, that's just conspiracy bullshit. There was just a judge recently arrested in Pennsylvania for his outright basic sale of kids to the prison system through the decisions that he made in his court proceedings. And if you think he's the only one, again, you better flip and think again. Because these people are like cockroaches. Where there's one, there's a hell of a lot of others. Because if there wasn't, there'd be no way they could get away with this shit. So really, save me your bullshit cognitive dissonance nursing about conspiracy theory. There's plenty of fact out there that proves what a lot of people like me have been trying to tell you now for many flipping years. At least a decade since the 9/11 shit. There is a hidden control structure. They do filter what you and I see or read or hear in order to try to pull us to a predetermined conclusion. Why? Because they know with the psychological state they have the majority of the population in, with fear and with being so freaking consumed by trying to live from day to day because of all the financial bullshit that they've orchestrated, that for the most part, people consumed and in fear, they don't act rationally, they don't think critically, and they are so involved with just merely trying to cope and get by from day to day that they miss the rest. So, keep playing their bullshit game with the character smear and, oh, conspiracy theorists, because you're too damn chosen stupid to go and take a look at things. Because you're too damn close-minded, because you're so self-centered and involved with yourself that you can't even see how shit plays a larger role and larger picture for future generations and your own kids. So keep being assets. Go ahead. Keep selling your kids out. And then later on, if you are around to see what the hell happens as a result of your stupidity and what you didn't want to look at, don't come back to people like me that were trying to tell you about it and fucking cry. Because at that point in time, you know what? I ain't interested in hearing it. Because by then, I'll probably be fucking dead because I had balls and a backbone and I stood up. It's pretty fucking bad. Somebody like me that don't even know you. I'm willing to put my life on the line trying to bring truth out for people to look at. And a bunch of assholes want to go with the stupid shit of conspiracy theorists and are too damn lazy even for their own kids' futures to actually have a bit of an open mind to look into things. What the hell have we become as a society? Think about it.